Greetings my peeps, FiOth here and welcome to my 2025 upcoming releases list. Here I will be talking briefly about my most anticipated games, and believe it or not I have 16 plus one of these suckers here. One of which is an honorable mention. It is the DLC coming for Lies of P. You can see the original trailer for Lies of P here. We don't have an exact date, it will be in the first quarter of the year. I streamed it the other night, it was a fantastic stream. I urge you to watch it because I kicked their asses. I never died in combat throughout the course of 5 hours. It's one of my favorite games of all time, my game of the year of 2023, and I urge you to play it if you haven't already because it's a freaking masterpiece. Now, because we have many games to go through, I will be just taking a moment to talk about each one, or we're gonna be here all night. Without further ado, let's get to it. First of the list comes the first Berserker, Khazan. This is a Souls-like in the vein of the Neo series with an amazing anime slash cel-shaded aesthetic taking place in the fighter and dungeon universe. I'm not exactly sure what that is, I never followed it, but from the first time I saw a trailer of this thing I was like, this is gonna be insane. I played the beta test that became available a while back. It blew my freaking mind, guys. This game is gonna be fire, especially if you like games like Neo with all the assigned abilities and skill trees and upgrading and modifying equipment. This will scratch the itch and then some. It's coming out on the 27th of March, so stay tuned. We will be streaming, making guides, the whole shoot. Keep your eyes on this one because it's gonna be great. If you've been following this channel, you know that I'm a sucker for Souls-likes and all of From Software's works, be it Souls-like or not. And this is looking like a game made in the world of Elden Ring, which is actually not a Souls-like. Elden Ring Nightreign will be a rogue-like 3-player co-op adventure where you will be going against a gauntlet of enemies and most importantly bosses from the entirety of From Soft's history. This is going to be amazing if done well, and I'm optimistic because the director of the project, although not Miyazaki, is the combat lead designer for Dark Souls 3, and many people believe that Dark Souls 3 was peak when it came to combat. I have to agree it was very balanced, albeit a bit restrictive, but Dark Souls 3 is a fantastic game, and having a game crafted by the mind and the team behind the combat that was the core of the experience, as with all of these games, is probably gonna be a treat. Keep your eyes on this one because we'll be making a ton of content and streaming it thoroughly. Doom the Dark Ages is sure to be a great game. Doom 2016 was amazing. Doom Eternal is kinda the Devil May Cry of shooters, and id Software has stated that they're going back to their roots, more grounded and more slow paced than Doom Eternal, but still we can expect top-notch action and of course some of the best technical performance of its age, because let's face it guys, not many studios can do optimization like id Software. Do you remember how Doom Eternal played 1080p 60 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Especially the Xbox One was one of the potatoest machines of all time and still ran the game pretty much like a dream. Nothing is perfect, but it has managed to push things with hardware of the previous and the current generation like few others. I mean, look at this thing. It's majestic. You own a good rig, it's gonna be even better. We don't have an exact date, but I think we're gonna see it sooner than later. Keep your eyes out for this one, it's gonna be a doozy. Split Fiction is the upcoming game from Haze Light Studio, the minds behind A Way Out, and of course the 2021 Game of the Year winner, It Takes Two. I first saw it in the Game Awards, and although initially it looked a bit goofy, when I connected the dots and thought, well, wait a minute, A Way Out was amazing. It Takes Two was amazing. This is probably gonna be amazing. I was very excited about it. I am pretty sure we will be playing it co-op on the streams. Doesn't really lend itself for guide crafting as such, but we can have great fun with the community during the streams, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be great to enjoy with either your friends, family, or the following of the channel. I will be keeping a close eye on this, so as soon as it comes out, I'll have something ready for you. I literally previewed Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 48 hours ago when the embargo lifted. You can find it right here on this card. Make sure you watch it afterwards. I will pin it at the end of the video as well. It is a very unique first-person RPG set in a historically correct medieval setting like its predecessor. Its performance is amazing, I couldn't believe my eyes. Very strong facial expressions and performances from the entire cast, super immersive, very zen, a slow burning experience. So if KDC1 was your thing, you're gonna love this one even more. I will be reviewing it and covering it, so keep your eye out both for the game and for the content. I'll be mixing in the smaller productions with the big boys so I can retain your attention and you give solo devs and smaller studios a chance. I know how some of you people function, so here I go. This is Echoes of the Living. It is developed by a couple, I think in Poland, I'm not exactly sure, and it is an old school survival horror game taking its cues from Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and so on and so forth. I played all of the demos that incrementally became available and then were taken down because they reorganized their builds and they don't want people to get the wrong impression. This is looking and playing excellent so far. I streamed a bit of the second demo at some point, and guys, I have to say, I can't wait for this thing. I love me some retro action here and there, and there are very few games that actually get the formula right. Keep an eye out for this, because it's looking excellent. I see games like this and something grows warm and fuzzy inside me. Mecha Break is the PvP focused mecha live service, I think, game coming out in 2025. It's coming out alongside Steel Hunters, a game that I've been an alpha tester for a very long time, but I am not exactly sure if you're gonna go to version 1.0 during this year. Mecha Break though is going to, so I'm gonna put this on the list at least for the time being. I played the technical test that became available a while back. It is super enjoyable. It's like a mecha aficionado's wet dream. I don't know if I will cover it on this channel or in my second channel, FiOth Ex Machina, but I will let you know beforehand, so you want to watch content for this, you can follow the other channel as well. Actually, here's the name of the channel, go give it some love. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a game that caught my attention probably because of its amazing aesthetic. At its heart, it's a turn-based JRPG with a more mature tone, and I mean, look at this thing, man. It's simply jaw-dropping. We know pretty few things about this so far, but for me an attempt at a more adult tone using the mechanics of JRPG, stepping away from the anime aesthetic, is worth taking a look. I don't know how well it will work, but from what I'm seeing so far, at least it looks very interesting in a period of the industry where many things seem to mix together, becoming pretty dull. I will be keeping you posted if this ends up becoming anything interesting, so don't you worry, I got you covered. I sometimes buy Nintendo consoles, and those times it's because of two things: Fire Emblem and Metroid. Lo and behold, at last we got info regarding the existence of Metroid Prime 4, dubbed Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. This has started to become a meme in the industry, something like Hollow Knight 2 Silksong, because they reached the point where they were ready to make it public and then they scrapped everything and started from scratch because they were not happy with what they had made. It stands to reason that this will be bundled with the Switch 2. We're gonna see stuff about the Switch 2 pretty soon. I have it on good authority. So it'll come out on the Switch and then we'll get an upgraded version of the Switch 2. And I hope the console will bring enough value for me to buy it and play the better version of it, especially now that Nintendo attacked the modding and emulating community and stopped it in its tracks because, oh no, we cannot bear to lose $5. What are we gonna do? We're selling 5-year-old games for 70 euros a piece. Anyway, I don't want to be toxic. This is about celebrating upcoming releases, so here it is. Samus' new Avenger, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, is coming out in 2025. Man, I'm looking forward to this like a Christian waiting for the second coming of Christ. This is Spine, this is Gung Fu. You play as this lovely lady, tearing apart enemies with gunfire, kung fu, kicks, punches, point blank headshots, dick shots, kneecap shots, you name it. It looks super impressive. It is the first game from the studio making it, and it is a AA project from what I can understand. The choreography here and the overall animation looks insane. Production values seem pretty high, and for people who enjoy close-up and personal kind of brawly shooters, this is gonna be the perfect proposition. I'm getting updates for this pretty much every day. They're working their asses off. I will try to reach out to the devs to see if I can get a key early and provide some content for you, but even if I don't, I'm gonna dish out the dough to support them and show the game to the public. Keep an eye out, peeps, this is looking insane! Cartman's fears are being realized. China is taking over the world! Well, he was more concerned about America, but you know, that was South Park about 15 years ago. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is an action game published by FiOth. It's a new studio, huge ass project for them, and it looks like a grim, mythology-based technical brawler. Not exactly a Souls-like. They seem to be trying to do their own thing, like in the case of Wuchang before it, but it looks amazing. Very good work on the graphics and the animation, vibrant colors, very well choreographed. And if you like this kind of game, hack and slash games with a more intricate combat system behind them, you will probably enjoy this one. We don't have a lot of information yet, let alone a release date, but I will keep you posted and I'm keeping a very close eye on this one. I love Tormented Souls so much. I have the best of memories from the game. One of my first streams ever, before I even had a camera, was a full run of Tormented Souls without saving to get a trophy. And a few people tuned in and we had an excellent experience with the game. It is a survival horror of the older ilk, playing as a lovely lady with one eye for reasons I wouldn't like to spoil. And it had a very wacky premise, excellent environmental design, but kinda plasticky looking characters, very low budget game, super affordable back then, and you can get it almost for free in this day and age. And they're releasing a sequel in 2025. Please guys, check out the OG, it's fantastic, and the sequel is gearing up to be an even better, scarier experience, so you bet your peaches I will be covering it and streaming when it finally comes out. I'm so happy to be able to say this, but Bloober Team made it. They remade Silent Hill 2, a fantastic game, my game of the year for 2024, and now they're coming with a brand new IP of their own making. Cronos, the New Dawn, is a third-person horror shooter experience, very much akin in gameplay fashion to their Silent Hill 2 remake, but of course with more unknown as of yet mechanics to enrich the experience. This looks something between a Returnal and Control, and I cannot wait for it. They proved they can make a good game, a really good game, not just passable like some of their previous works. And yeah man, so happy to see people working their asses off and getting recognition after so many years. This, I bet, is gonna be as memorable as an experience as their magnum opus, and we'll be here to enjoy it. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, a moment-to-moment recreation of the highest tech, and it is the exact same masterpiece we got all those years ago on the PlayStation 2. I don't need to say anything else. Metal Gear Solid 3 is not my favorite Metal Gear Solid game, but I have to recognize and respect what Kojima managed to create back then. Imagine all that goodness taking to the forefront with higher technology and the original voice acting that we enjoyed back in the day. It's gonna be insanely good to re-experience under a new light, and if this is your favorite game of all time, which for many people is, Man, I can't imagine the excitement you're feeling every time you see this trailer. I will be playing it, I will be covering it. I don't think there's any point making guides for it. It's been played and covered to death by other individuals throughout pretty much the course of 2 decades, but here we will be enjoying it anew. The Sinking City was a very interesting game with some amazing puzzles that really respected the intelligence of the player. The game had a tremendous past because the publisher tried to wrest the rights of the IP out of the developer's hand, but Frogware managed to secure them, and now they can work on the sequel uninterrupted. I highly recommend you give this one a go, guys, because it is one of the better Cthulhu Mythos games we have. It is mostly an adventure with some combat. For some reason they integrated some open world enemies that make zero sense. As if it was obligatory, you know? It was the trend, everyone had to have open worlds, even if it didn't make sense, they had to be there. Why the hell would you do this, Frogware? But anyway, the sequel seems like a bigger project, a more expensive project, and there is no reason why one wouldn't expect a good game as a final product. These guys really know puzzles, they're behind the Sherlock Holmes series as well, so if you find the first one under self-publishing by the devs themselves, grab a copy because it is really good, and enjoy until the second one comes out. Last on the list we have Phantom Blade Zero. This has been circulating the web for quite some time. It's coming out on PC and the PlayStation 5 and looks like a very high production value hack and slash game with some demonic elements. It looks excellent. I don't have much to say about it. It includes some platforming, some interesting traversal, very robust combat, and apparently it's not a Souls-like. People who just want to enjoy a more traditional hack and slash with technical enemies have a lot to look forward to in 2025. I'm keeping an eye out for this. It is looking really good, and I will keep you posted for anything new that comes our way. So let me catch my breath. This is my list of the most anticipated games of 2025, peeps. I hope you enjoyed. I have a couple ideas for upcoming vids that will be made and released for you really soon. So subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Please consider supporting the channel since I came out of the hospital. I'm working my ass off. And until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers.